Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on three. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack.
Welcome to Ask Amy from What Fresh Hell, laughing in the face of motherhood, solving your parenting dilemmas one question at a time. This week's question is from Danielle on Facebook. She asks, does anyone else have a kid that always wants to play the mean guy? My almost 3-year-old son always wants to play the villain and hardly ever the hero or the nice guy. Is this normal, or am I raising a future bad boy? Yes, it's normal. Danielle, first of all, yes, I have a nephew who is also 3 years old and also always wants to play the bad guy. So I can assure you that this is very normal and very common. And no, you're not alone at all. This is more common in boys than girls. And we actually did an episode on this. If you haven't listened to our Boy Obsessions episode, it's episode 77. I'm going to put the link in the show notes for this episode. Go back and listen to this because studies have proven that young boys are even more likely than young girls to develop what psychologists call extremely intense interests. Sometimes it's dinosaurs, sometimes it's spaceships, sometimes it's the bad guys in Disney movies or wherever. And it's very common. Experts say, and I would agree, having had 2 little boys that liked to, jump on couches and be bad guys, that this is something that they need to act out. What they're interested in, these kids who want to be villains, is the power that those villains have, is the not having to listen to rules, right? The bad guy doesn't have to listen when it's time for bed or have to sit in his chair nice or have to go to church and not talk. Bad guys operate outside those rules, and your 3-year-old's life is all about things that they don't want to do a lot of the time. So they're fantasizing about that sort of power. And as long as that fantasy, as long as, stomping around and saying, I'm Captain Hook and waving a stick and pretending it's a sword, as long as that's confined to playtime, as long as they're not hitting other kids, pulling the cat's tail, actually acting out, but more sort of owning the bravura, the character of it without acting out, it's completely fine. Dr. Michael Thompson wrote a book called Raising Cain about boys in particular. It's an excellent book. And he says, boys' fantasy lives are no place for lessons on subjectivity and humanizing the other. I don't think those lessons have to be completely excluded from your son's life, but it's okay that at 3, he's working on something else. First of all, make sure that the media that you're having in your house are movies and TV shows and cartoons where the bad guy or the bad gal gets what's coming to them in the end. I mean, most shows that your kids watch, like Ursula's the bad guy Jafar, they're all these Disney movies and cartoons. They do all have in common that the, abominable snowman at the end is either in jail or he just had a bad tooth all along and he wasn't actually bad. They're neutralized. And so you can start when you watch these shows or encounter playing Captain Hook with your son, you can stress that the good guys won. How did Peter Pan beat Captain Hook? How did they trick him? How did Aladdin get away from Jafar? Because the good guy does always win in the end, and at some point your kid is going to catch on to that, and that's going to become a little bit more interesting. And if you see it starting to creep into their behavior, starting to be difficult, you can say, in our house, We talk about our problems. We don't use our fists. We don't hit with swords. How do good guys win if they can't do that? And start to talk about these sort of other avenues to power. I think eventually your 3-year-old, once he becomes more of a school age, he's going to start to understand right and wrong, good and bad, and he's going to choose, the Luke Skywalker side of things. Until then, he's interested in exercising some power that he knows he doesn't have in real life. And I think letting him have a little bit of fun with that is absolutely fine. Send us your parenting questions and we might answer yours next. Email us questions@whatfreshhellpodcast.com. Thanks for listening.
Close your eyes. Focus. Listen to work getting done with Monday.com. Relax as AI does the manual work, while your teams are aligned on a single source of truth. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform, so flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Notice you're limitless. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally, breathe.